In today's guide, we're going to learn how to improve your music. A no bullshit guide to improve your music as fast as possible. A quick backstory of who am I. I'm Pranav and I make music under the alias Duck Winter. And over the past few months, I have over 10,000 monthly listeners. I've achieved that goal of mine. And it took me less than 6 months to achieve this goal. And today I will teach you how I did that, what were the mindsets, what are the practices that I implemented to get to that goal, as well as how do you improve your music, because at the end of the day, the music is what you're going to sell. If the music is trash, then there is no point of doing all this. If the music is trash, then no one's going to listen to you. It cannot be marketable, you cannot promote it because it's trash, bro. Like, come on. So, this guide will be split into parts: the mental game and the physical game. In the mental game, we will talk about the mindset and mental health and how it plays a significant role on your music, and how do you improve your creativity also. So, chapter 1, mental health or the mental game. In that, we're going to talk about first, mindset. The right mindset will lead you to all the success in life. If you have the wrong mindset, then it's not going to work. So there are two types, or like two different types of mindsets that has been discovered. One is the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. The fixed mindset is where when you're like, oh, I can't do it. And the growth mindset is the opposite. Like, I am bad at it, but I can become better at it. It's a small mind shift change that caused me to improve my music, because if I was in the fixed mindset that, oh, I don't have talent and I can't make music, then I wouldn't have grown and got to this point. The key is to practice this every time. So for example, say you're bad at sound designing, then you don't say I don't know how to sound. Like, okay, you accept the fact that you're bad at sound designing, but you do not fix yourself to that, oh, I'm bad at sound designing, therefore I'm never going to be good at it. And that's a really bad thing. Instead, you can say that, oh, I'm bad at sound designing, but I can learn it. Because in life, everything is a skill and habit. Like the way you speak, the way you do everything, your morning routine, night routine, everything is a habit. And if you do not believe that everything is a skill and can be learned, then you can't go anywhere. The other mindset is the gap and the gain. So the way you measure things, say for example, you want to reach 100,000 monthly listeners, or that's one of the goal of mine, 100,000 monthly listeners by the end of this year. So instead of saying, okay, I'm right now at 20K, I need 80 more K to go. And oh shit, I need 80 more K. And that's like the gap. You're measuring the gap. Instead, you can flip that and be like, oh, okay, I've reached 20K. Like, oh yes, that's a big gain. And therefore I can go to 100K, because when you measure the gain, you see it as a good thing. Like, you see it as in a positive way. Whereas when you measure the gap, it's in a negative way, that oh, it's coming from a lack, or coming from a scarcity mindset. Whereas when you measure the gain, it is kind of an abundance mindset. And mindset plays a really important role in the way you make music and how your career is going to go about, because the right mindset will lead you to success and the wrong ones won't. So to implement these practices in your daily life, first is to be grateful. Gratitude, being grateful for whatever you have. For example, even if you have the shittiest computer in the world, you can be really grateful for that and be like, oh, it's okay. I have the shittiest computer. Yes, I do have it, but at least I'm able to make music with it. At least it's helping me to do something. The other thing is to be like, write down all the, it's called brain. Okay, wait. The other thing is lost thought. Yeah, okay. So to implement the first one, the fixed mindset and the growth mindset, you can pick up any skill and start learning it. Because when you have a positive reinformation, say for example, I say for this YouTube video, like I want to start a YouTube channel. So instead of being like, oh, I'm a bad YouTuber, so I'll never start a YouTube channel, instead you can look at it as practice. Okay, I am I'll posting this video, and I'm going to get better with each and every video. It's the same thing. You're not fixed. You're just saying to yourself, you're bad at it, but I can improve at anything. Now, the second chapter is about mental health, and mental health is key to it leads to creativity, because creativity can be defined as when you get new ideas when you are working. So in the when you are in the flow state, or when you forget about time, or how fast time flows, your brain starts giving you ideas. Why is that? Because your brain is so clear that you can listen to the ideas in your brain, and it gives you new ideas. Your brain is like Pandora's box. So everything that you consume and all the information in your brain, it just gets processed. It creates links with other neurons and all the other information that you have, and this creates new connections. And it takes time, but improving my mental health is improving my creativity, because I can listen to my brain properly and my brain is clear. So here are the few practices that I did. One was morning pages, exercise, gratitude journaling as covered before, meditation, and eating a clean diet. So morning pages is from a book called The Artist Way by Julia Cameron. And in that book, you take up a journal. So this is my journal where I have, and every single day you have to write 3 pages of unfiltered, conscious words or writing. 3 pages, 3 full pages. You have to do it every day for 8 weeks. And I've been practicing this since 1.5 months. And my brain is so clear. I am very clear with all the ideas, and all the noise in my brain is gone. And this practice has helped me to unleash my creativity a lot. The other thing is exercise. When you do hard things, you get a mental boost. Okay, like your brain becomes clear. You get a mental clarity. You're just clear. You just know what to do, and that's also good for your mental health as well as your physical health. And when you start looking at your body, like how your body changes, you have a positive perception that, okay, if my body's like, it's an additional confidence boost basically. The other thing is gratitude journaling. So every day while doing morning pages, I write 5 things that I'm grateful for every single day. Like for example, okay, like now I'm grateful for this laptop, I'm grateful for this mouse, this pen I'm holding, this phone, my second monitor, my headphones. So being grateful and counting your blessings is so important, because when shits become tough, shit goes hard and life is tough, you can go back to the journal and see what you're grateful for, and you can remind yourself, okay, to be positive. The single most effective thing a person can do is to flip a negative situation into a positive situation, and gratitude journaling helps me a lot with that. Another thing is meditation. So I've been practicing meditation since a year and a half, like every day 30 minutes. And meditation improves all aspects of your life. Like it's like a meta skill, like the most effective tactic available for your life. It improves every aspect of your life: your relationship, your health, your mental health, physical health, spiritual health, your work, everything, every aspect. The form of meditation that I practice is called Vipassana. So I had to do a 10-day course of silent meditation, and there I went and learned it. I'll link down the link to the course if you want to do it. It's an offline course, 10 days silent meditation. It's free of cost. It's free of cost. If you're doing it, then please donate to them because everything is free. The food is good, the stay is good, and that changed my life because when I because my I was in a shit place and meditation helped me calm me down as well as clear my brain. It's like a reset button for your brain, basically. So all the bad thoughts you say, they get filtered out with good thoughts, and it starts, you start creating new biases or beliefs about yourself, and that really helped me. Another thing is the clean diet. So, as you know, I'm a gym rat, so I have a very strict clean diet. I don't eat out at all, and this helped me with my gut health, like because you are what you eat basically, and with maintaining a clean diet, I can think properly. I don't have brain fog. I have nothing as such, and I'm very focused, and it also improved my focus. And yeah, so these are the things on how you can improve your mental health. Now, for the juicy sauce physical game part 2, we will first talk about writer's block. So, writer's block is basically when your expectation does not meet with reality. Okay, you have an expectation of something that with this session, I'm going to do this with this much of quality, and you don't hit that. When you don't, when your reality does not meet the expectation, that's when you have writer's block. And the best way to remove writer's block is something called splurging. So splurging is a way of just making music without focusing on the quality of what you make. Okay? So you go on your DAW, load up any DAW, I don't give a fuck, and go set a timer for 30 minutes and just make music without focusing on the quality of it. Okay? Do this for 10 days. There's a course also. I'll link down a course that I followed. It's Mike Monday's 11 days splurge challenge or something. Idea Explosion challenge. And that course changed the way I write music forever. Because we are leveraging quantity to achieve quality. And everyone is trash at first. So the more reps you put in, the more better you become. The 10,000 hour rule basically, but the 10,000 hour rule is actually kind of wrong in terms of music, because if you spend 10,000 hours on one project, that means you have only made one song, and it does not mean that you'll become good at it. So instead of saying the 10,000 hour rule, you can say it as 10,000 iterations. So if you make 10,000 iterations or work on 10,000 songs, then you become a master at the craft. And this course, the 11 day splurging challenge, Idea Explosion challenge, whatever is it changed the way I look at how to make music, because I now focusing on making more music. Yes, it's the quality. Yes, I release only the quality ones, but I also have a lot of shit tracks that I don't show to anyone. And that's a very good way to look at it. Another thing is using Pareto's principle. Pareto's principle says that 80% of results comes from 20% of effort. And in music, in music and making music production, this is very obvious. You can see it at first hand. The first 4 hours or the first 5 hours of making an idea, you're already 80% done. And this changed the way I'll make music again, because I spend a lot less time on finishing tracks. Before, learning all this, I used to spend about 150 hours on a track. So stupid, so dumb. Years of fatigue. The tracks also are shit. I still have the demos. They're all trash. But now, when I understand these two, quantity to achieve quality and Pareto's principle, I make my best music in under 20 hours. This includes mixing, mastering, creating the idea, as well as all the sound design, sound selections, everything. Within 20 hours, I am done with the track. And this leads to the next rule, the 20-hour rule. Say you have a project that you're working on and it's crossed, you're working on a long time, say a month or two, and you've like done like 60 hours. The return investment that you invest on the track is going to decrease after 20 hours. I've seen that the value can vary, but 20 hours is perfect. It feels good. It feels optimal. You can have 5 sessions. You can have like 5 sessions for each part, like 5 hours for mixing, 5 hours for idea creation, 5 hours for mastering, 5 hours for like, what do you say, or improving or like details, adding details to the track, and another 5 hours for like various automations and seeking feedback and messing up with different arrangements. So the 20-hour rule, use it. In your next track, set a time of 20 hours. I think FL Studio shows how much time you spend on a track. I'm not sure about Ableton or Logic because I'm a FL Studio user. So if you press F11, you can see how much time you spend on a track. And if it's, say it's 17 hours and you want, and you're like only your idea is done, you're going to finish the track in like 3 hours. I don't give a fuck. Even if it's like some deadline that you have to submit to a label or something, within 3 hours you're going to finish the track. Or give or take, add like 5 hours more, so like 8 hours. So like within 25 hours you have to finish the track. Because when you spend more time on a track, your ears are fatigue, you get used to the sound, and the more you listen to a song, the more it gets ingrained in the brain. So you can't mix effectively. Your mix goes down. Everything. You just start hating the track, and you'll never finish that track. Another mindset shift or a practice that I do is working with a timer. So there's something called as deep work, where you focus on one task and within a given amount of time you finish that task. Say for example, I want to finish the mixing of this song within say 90-minute blocks, working in 90-minute periods. So in this 90 minutes, I'm going to finish this only mixing the song. I'll be done with mixing. I won't touch the song after that within this 90 minutes. So I set up a timer, write down what all needs to be done during the session. So I go to FL, I open Fruity notebook or notepad, and write down, okay, what changes needs to be done in mix. Is the bass too loud? Is the kick too loud? Is the drums quite low? Or does it need more effects, more reverb, delay, etc. I write down and I start implementing ASAP, start the timer. When your 90 minutes are done, you're done, leave the track for the next few days. You're done with that. And I repeat this cycle for at least 2 cycles a day. Because of college, I'm not being able to get 3, but 3 is more better. I try to get at least 2 cycles, 3 hours a day, two music sessions, a lot of work done, a lot of tracks done. Now, people like my friends often ask, like, how do I get the music that I want to make? And the good way of finding your own sound is to plan it. It may sound absolutely dumb. How can you plan your own sound? But at the end of the day, everything is planned, because music is all about taking decisions. And the way you take decisions, if you're not aware of it, you can take a track to a new level. Say for example, okay, if you want to make a track in the style of Avicii or Martin Garrix, you first write them down of, okay, how does a Martin Garrix song sound? How does a Avicii track sound? How does this artist track sound? You write down all the elements, all that, and you work in that way. In the same way, we can use this in our own with ourselves. Say for example, you can plan your ideal song. Okay, so now take your journal or a piece of paper and plan. Okay, what does your ideal track sound like? So for me, I'm a lo-fi artist, so it would be sound like, okay, chill drums, guitars, piano, or vocals slash ambient, and a violin. Okay, I've written them down over here. So chill drums, a guitar, a piano, a vocal, like a vocal ambient, and a violin. So for you, you can write down all the elements that you want in your track. Like say for progressive house, it can be a gritty bass, synth leads, a cappella or a vocal list on top. A drum, like progressive house type drums. So you got that down. The next thing is to write what emotion do you want the listener to feel for a track. So for me, it's lo-fi. So mine would be like sleepy or emotional or calm. Say for someone who wants to make EDM, we're taking the EDM example again. So wants to party or hyped up. It's a better word. Or you can say wants to dance. Okay, and then the next thing is to write down your favorite synths. So mine would be synths or pianos or drum kits that you would love to use in your track. Mine would be the Imagiero piano, Labs, recent sampler, Noir, by Contact, and for drums we have my own sample pack. Then we have Mondaloops sample pack, and who has good samples? Yeah, Jero. Jero has good samples. So that would be there. So I think for the EDM, how would it be like silent? Nexus, Theorem, Word, Kashmir, Volume 1 to 4, Vengeance. You get the point, right? So you write all of them down. Then you write your favorite effects. How do you want to mix your track? For me in lo-fi, we don't have that many effects because it's not a lot of like sound design. So it's generally like basic like vinyl by Isotope. I like Vitamin by Waves, Guitar Rig, Amplitude, and you can say Procure 3. So for the Progressive House, you can use like, say, I think, KHS sounds, KHS Faceplant. Oh, Faceplant is a synth, it's a plugin. No, multipass. Then you have OTT, Saturn, and all your like favorite plugins, effects that you would love to use in your track. And this makes it simple on how you want to make an ideal track. And you can make your next track based on these things. You can pull up this list and write, like, say you're stuck in a track and you want to know what to do. Then you can pull up this list and just like, oh, okay, in this track, I don't have a violin. Maybe I just add a violin. Oh, in this track, like, it sounds good, but I think it needs like more sleepy drums. So we add a drum, and it does not like sound lo-fi-ish. So we add like isotope vinyl. So you get the point. Like, you plan your ideal sound and you implement on top of that. You work on top of that. The other thing is preparing your sound. So we're done with planning your ideal song. Now we're going to prepare your sounds, the sounds that you're going to use. The first key thing is remove all subfolders. Remove all the subfolders. It might seem so stupid, but I don't know why do sample pack creators do this. That's why I'm going to start creating my own sample packs. Bro, remove all subfolders. So for example, in Kashmir's volume 1 or 2, it's divided into like drums, drum loops, effects, kick, snap, snares. Nothing. It's all bullshit. So it should be remove all subfolders. So it should look like Kashmir volume 1. When you click on it, all the sound should be there. Like all kick 1, kick 2, kick 3, kick 4, snare 1, snare 2, snare 3. Do it for all sample packs, and I bet you the way you use your sample packs, your sounds will change, because you will get access to all your sounds easily. You just need to just click one and you find new sounds, new sounds, new sounds, new sounds. And to further improve this process, you can favorite your favorite sounds, the sounds that you would like and use every time. Favorite it, and use them as in your music. And you can also sell those packs, bundle them up, sell this in a sample pack, because those sounds are creating your own sound. So for example, the artist named Brooks, okay, his sound is so obvious. It's all dubstep growls, it's all like a gritty bass or Melbourne bounce bass. So Brooks became Brooks because he had a favorites folder. He had a folder that's defined his sound, and he built up those folders by favoriting the sounds that he likes, because our tastes are different. Everyone is different. So our tastes make up a sound. So why don't we use that as an advantage to find our own sound, which will lead us to find our own audience, and that will establish as an artist. So yeah, it's so simple. First thing, remove all subfolders. Please, it'll improve your workflow. It'll improve everything. Just by doing it takes an hour. Go through all your sample packs, remove everything, subfolders only. It'll 10x or 100x your workflow. It is so simple, but it's worth it. And second thing is to favorite your favorite sounds, the sounds that you like. Favorite it. Click on the start button, then use it whenever you feel like it. And the third thing is to start building a template. Now, we went through this list and we saw that we use certain instruments and effects regularly. So we can put them in a template and call them as a default template. So every time you open a DAW, this opens up and you can just start like making music ASAP. Another tip to templates is to use the drum rack, or it's called FPC in FL Studio. So load up your favorite one-shots and load them in the drum rack, so that if you have a MIDI controller, you can just play them and you can go through various sounds of yours, and it's so fast but it's so effective. Say you have an idea in your head, a melody in your head, and you want to put them in your DAW. So the process of getting the idea from your head to the DAW, the time reduces, because as you all know, our ideas are fleeting. So they stay in your head for some time and they go away. So instead of that idea going away, you can just put them in the DAW and this reduces time. So use the drum rack load up all your favorite kick sample snares, and if you have an idea, just put them in that and load up all your favorite synths and effects into one template and make it into your default template. Now, sound selection. The key to sound selection is to start with good sounds, because sound selection is the backbone of everything. If you have bad sounds, you will have bad music. You will have if you have bad sounds, you will lead to bad songs. So start with good songs, because good sounds lead to good songs. So how do you find good sounds? In every genre of music, I believe that there are artists who release sample packs, and you buy those packs, like ask your friends. If you can, I don't know if it's legal. Yeah, I think it's illegal. I think torrent is illegal. But do it. Like, find those sounds, because those artists have already used them in tracks, and those sounds are already high quality. So if you start with good sounds, you will automatically have good songs. The same thing goes with your VSTs and effects that you use. If you use FL keys for a lo-fi song, you can hear and compare it with Spitfire or Keyscape's Grand Piano. The difference is slight. It's a very little subtle. It's a very subtle difference, but that subtle difference, when it compounds with every sound, it'll be a big difference. So start with good sounds, good VSTs. If you want, I know it's illegal, but torrent them and then buy it if you want after earning money, okay? Or ask your friends who have a license, extra license, use their license. There are hundreds of ways to do it, okay? Another way to find free sounds is a website called Piano Book, where you get pianos, like every sound, like except for, I think you don't get drums on Piano Book, but you get like good piano synths, violins, like all the orchestra stuff, good pads, and you can start with good sounds, build up on that, use the other techniques that has been told before or that we're going to say ahead, and build on top of that. You can upgrade your sound libraries. Contact us. Like Contact 14, I think it's like $1,200. It's worth the investment. You get everything with it. Contact 6, you get Massive, and yeah, that's it. So going back to this section, let's summarize this. So first, you're going to plan your ideal song. Take up a page, write down all the favorite elements, sound, and synths that you want in your ideal song. Then prepare your sounds by removing all the subfolders and making your workflow more effective. And then you build a template using the list of these synths and effects that you've used. And sound selection. Sound selection is all about decision making. So you have to start with good sounds. And yeah, so this is this chapter of part 1 of Physical Game. Now we're going to talk about remaking and remixing, the two easiest and fastest way to improve your music. Okay, I discovered remaking a few months ago. I have seen some random ass video. I think it was Fico, the YouTuber Fico. He's a very underrated YouTuber, so check him out. He had this video remaking, I think, the only mixing video you'll ever need, and he remade Drake's track, and the quality of the track matched the original track. Remaking is hard. It's really hard. I've done it for a few songs. It's hard, but you learn a lot, because when you try to make something that's good, you learn a lot, as well as you can use the sounds that have been used in those top quality tracks in your own tracks. Like, say I want to recreate the snare of like Illenium's Take You Down. Okay, when I recreate the snare, I compare it with the original, and I get close to it. Now I have the snare sample, and I can use it in my own production. And the same goes with like leads, basses, ambiences. So take up your favorite track and start remaking it section by section. So first start with the drop, because the drop is like the hardest, and most tracks are built based on the drop. So first nail the drop. It might take a lot of time. It might take a few sessions, 3-4 sessions of 90 minutes, and it might take a lot of time. Remaking tracks are fucking hard, but it's always worth it because you get the sounds, you learn a lot, you learn how you try to dig deep into the artist's head, and you try to implement, and you learn new skills, more skills, and you become better. The other thing is, after you're done remaking, then you do remixing. Now remixing your tracks can be good, but there's a catch to it. Okay, a big catch. So remixing tracks can show you what your ideal track sounds like. So you have your ideal track. So instead of first making a track by yourself, have the ideal track, have the list, and use those elements by remixing a famous song. Okay, it might sound like bad at first, but you will improve gradually by making more remixes. The problem with remixing is that you can't seek feedback. Okay, like feedback as in like people. Yeah, you won't seek feedback from the crowd. You can't release the track. If you can, like, try to hit up the artist and try to ask for official release, but your track needs to be really high quality to get an official release in the first place. So remixing tracks are good, but do it like one track a month, or like once in like 3 months. I do it like once in 3 months, because I don't, the return on investment is not 5, but remaking, the return on investment is always 10x, 100x. Like I've remade Avicii's Wake Me Up, Martin X Animals. Even though I'm a lo-fi producer, I just remix tracks that I genuinely like, and I learned a lot. I learned new skills that I could use it in every genre. So skills like can be transferable from one genre to another. The skills that I learned from making EDM tracks, I could use it. For example, I learned the importance of using effects, like using crashes when a drop starts. I could use these things in my tracks, and my tracks improve a lot. So here are a few ways to like improve your music really quick, but it can be a drawback. Okay, we're going to talk about this. First is to collaborate with other artists. So here you should never like think that big artists don't want to collaborate with you, because that's wrong. Like people always want to collaborate with others. I've learned this the hard way. Like I DM'd, who did I DM? I think right here. I DM'd like one of my like idols or something, and he said that he always wanted to like, he loves to collaborate. So a year ago, when I was nothing, if I would have approached him that time, I would have already got the collab, and that was the hard thing. So going about collaboration, you learn a lot from other artists because they are already better than you. So it's good to learn from someone who's better than you, and you can implement those things, the way they mix a guitar or some new, like you learn things that seem obvious to them but not to you, and you can implement in your tracks. So I go about collaborating, I DM an artist. I say like, hey, say like, okay, my friend Groove Tide. Hey, Groove Tide, I'm big fan of music. I like your song XYZ. Would you be down for a collab? And I've been rejected like 1 in 10 times because either the artist is too busy or we like, yeah, either the artist is too busy. Like 1 in 10 times, bro. So 9 out of 10 times people want to collaborate with you because they just want to. Collaboration is good. It's good for both parties. It's a win-win situation for me as well as the other guy. And collaboration is looked down upon. They're like, people think that like collaborating is like stupid because you give up like 50% of the royalties. But bro, like all the top songs in the world are collaborated, is a collaboration between 7 to 8 artists. So why are you struggling with collaboration? If the top artists in the world are collaborating, why aren't you? Like, because it's a win-win situation at the end of the day. You also win, he also wins. He learns something new, I also learn something new. And one key tip with collaborating is to collaborate with artists who have whose strength is your weakness. For example, my strength is keyboard. I'm good at the keyboard. I'm okay at playing, but I can draw good melodies. But I suck at the guitar. And in my ideal track, I want guitars. So I would approach someone who's a guitarist, but suck at piano, like most people do. And I give him the idea, and this is why the guitar. So he's providing his value as well as I am providing value. Like we both are providing value for each other, and that's how collaborations go. So whenever you want to collaborate with someone, always collaborate with someone whose weakness is their strength, and their weakness is your strength. It might seem hard at first, but trust me, it works. Another way is to cold email people, cold DM people. At first, DM people who are a little better than you. This might sound stupid because you don't want to start DMing like the top artist, like the top guy in the world. Like say for me in my this thing, like directly, I don't want to like DM Mondal for a collab because it does not make sense. He has 1 million monthly users, I have only 20,000. So the difference is too much. Say but for example, if I had like 20,000 and someone who had 80,000, like my friend Patient Wave, like that. So I DM'd him. He has 60,000 more monthly listeners. I DM'd him, and we have a collab. So at first, DM someone who's in your range. If you're at 0 monthly listeners, DM someone who has at least like 500, dude, because people love collaborating. It like you're not understanding that. Like you might have a limiting beliefs. Oh, what do I have to provide? I suck at making music. Who will collaborate with me? It's a limiting belief, bro. Like I have sent out demos that are so bad, like it's horrible, and even have collaborated on that, and you have made great tracks. You have made really good tracks with that, because people only work with people who they vibe with. So when you have that belief, like it's not going to work. That belief is going to hold you back a lot, and collaborating is like the best. It's the future. Like people who collaborate are going to dominate. They're going to win because it's a win-win for others. And that's what take on collaboration. Like collaborate with others. Collaborate with a lot of artists. Just start hitting up people, bro. They want to collaborate with you. Have that fucking mindset. People want to collaborate with others. They're also bored. They also want to. They want something, dude. Like they also want to make music. They also like. They also have weaknesses. So yeah, collaborate. But collaboration has a drawback, and I recently started to see in my own work, is that I'm depending more on collaborations nowadays. So for me, it's becoming hard to finish tracks, or finish tracks, like to get a good quality track on my own. So for example, is the guitar example. Like I suck at guitar. I learned the guitar. It's been 1 year, but I still cannot play at the level that it's expected, and I'm struggling with that. So it's a small drawback that you won't be able to finish tracks on your own. But I've come up with a way where you can like finish more tracks is to use reference tracks. And reference tracks, people get wrong, like a lot of the way people use reference tracks is the most stupidest I've ever seen. Like they compare the like pro, like it's so stupid, bro. Like people like have a reference track and they have only one track for no reason. I don't know why. It's so dumb. Like they'll have a track that does not match the mood of their own track. It is so stupid. Like people just pick out like the top tracks and they put them as a reference track. It's like so stupid. If the top track does not have the vibe of your own track, then there's no point referencing it, bro. What the fuck is wrong with you? Fucking hell. So, with that, this is your track. Take up a track that is in the same mood. Say I have a sleepy lo-fi track. So my reference track should be at least minimum of four sleepy lo-fi tracks that is made by others who are better than you. Okay? Now how do you use them? You can straight out copy the arrangement of the track because that song is famous. It has a lot of streams. Many artists like it's working it's working. People are responding to it. So you can take up the arrangement, cut them up, and you can implement the same arrangement in your own track. And you're like, okay, so that's it for reference track? No. So another way to use reference track, and this is a very like dumb way, but I love to sample reference tracks. For example, there's a song by Purple Cat called Morning Light. Okay? And the snare of that track is it's so good that I took that track and I sampled the snare of it and I use it. And people don't realize it's a Purple Cat snare. Like, it's just one shot. And you can use reference tracks to extract good quality sounds from that. Because getting good quality sounds is hard, but the easiest way is to like take up a reference track, load La AI, and extract the stems. Boom. Yeah, but the key is to please don't use the melody loops. Just use the drum loops and you have a good song. Good sounds equal to good songs, bro. Another way is to actively listen to music and listen to different types of genres. I'm a lo-fi producer, but I also listen to soft rock. I listen to EDM, progressive, future bass, dubstep. Because the more data sets that I have in my brain, the more creative I become. Okay? And talking about creativity, a creativity guide will come by next week. I'll talk about how how did I increase my creativity in under like 2 to 3 weeks. So that's there. So when you have more data sets on how good tracks work, you can implement those elements in your own track. For example, dubstep is known to use a lot of fills or even future bass. A lot of fills, like drum fills in the middle. I took that inspiration and started using in my own tracks. And bro, like my tracks became more lively. Like there's a lot of ear candy, lot of drums, lot of this and that going on. Just by listening to another genre of music, I could easily replicate it in my own music. So the best way of active listening is to not only listen to it, but to write it in your own words. So listen to any like different songs. Take a notebook or a notebook and a pen, and write it down in your own words. Okay, for example, let's listen to like Martin Garrix Animals. Hit song, everyone knows about it. Simple. Okay, so we can go about and say like, okay, this track has like a drop starts at X like 1 minute or something. Okay, it has a long as intro. Uh, a vocal shot is there before the drop. Um, the kick is too thumpy. Yeah. The middle drop or middle break has a synth lead or a synth breakdown. So when I understood, okay, it has a vocal shot. It has a vocal shot before the drop. Why don't I try that in my own music? Get it? It's simple. Like you can also like describe the mood of the track. Okay, the track is like nice party hit. So it does not make sense, but yeah, you can use active listening in your own music, and it's really helpful to listen to a lot of genre of music. Now here are like a small, what do you say, a segment regarding learning an instrument and music theory. Like there's this big notion in the music community that you don't need music theory, you don't need to learn music theory to make music. Yes, it is true, but why are you limiting yourself to not learn something new? Like why are you limiting yourself to not learn music theory? Like why? It's so stupid. If you know more knowledge of how things work, you can implement it in your own song. Like, do you like, for example, the Dorian scale, what do you say, or the Phrygian mode? Dude, learn new things. It might seem so stupid. Oh, you don't need music theory to learn to make music. Yeah, but your music will sound stale because you don't know how to create emotion. The chord just sounds stale. You won't know how to write proper chords for a vocal. Like, why? And the single most easiest way to learn music theory is to learn an instrument. Any instrument. Learn the guitar, learn the keyboard, learn the violin, learn drums. I would think of it, no. Yeah, drums only gives you rhythm. But yeah, learn the keyboard, learn the guitar. These are the two primary instruments that people know. Learn them. You learn an instrument, you can use it in your own songs, as well as you learn music theory. It's a win-win, bro. And there are so many tutorials available on YouTube, and you can easily learn like what's stopping you. Also, or the fastest way is to hire a coach, hire a professor, and he'll teach you. Like I learned the guitar under a month. Not sorry, under a year, not month. I'm really sorry. Under a year, like I am proficient on the guitar. Yes, I need to practice a lot, but I'm really good at the guitar. It just took me a year, and I can use this knowledge till I die in all my tracks. It's so stupid, so easy. Come on, stop being a bitch and learn music theory. Another way is to seek feedback. Seeking feedback is so important because when you ask people who are better than you, they know something that you don't. They hear something that you don't. That's why they are better than you, period. So when you send your tracks to feedbacks, so how do you do that? Join a lot of Discord servers. I know you're on many Discord servers. Join on them. They'll have a feedback session. Put on your track, ask for feedback, or like DM people, like how we DM people for collaborations. You can DM people for feedback who are better than you, and people love to give feedback because they love criticizing things. People just love criticizing things, and apply the feedback that are common in all of them. So if 5 people are saying, okay, the kick is too loud, do it. The kick is too loud, reduce it. If 5 people like, because it varies, because everyone's taste is different. Our tastes are very different. So use the things that sound good, sound proper to you. I lost train of thought. Do not apply everything that someone says, but use what's common and what seems obvious, not obvious, like do the thing that used to seem obvious to you, but now isn't because someone has pointed it out. So you immediately do it. And yeah, so seek feedback. It is the most simplest thing. People would love giving feedback, and that's the easiest way to become better at making music. Collaborate, collaborate a lot. Seek feedback. Make more music. Make a lot of music. Use work in blocks, 90-minute blocks, deep work, and all that. And yeah, that's it for today.